video, I'm going to be reviewing one of the most hyped foundation, one of the most talked about foundation, one of the most loved foundation, which is the Estee Lauder Stay in Place Double Wear Foundation. Now this one has an SPF of 10 in it, and I got this one in the shade Cashew. I'll talk about the shade just in a bit, but I got this one in the travel size, and this one has 15 ml of product in it, that is 0.5 fluid ounce, and this one retails for 1,800 rupees on Nykaa.com, and I think you can get it across like Estee Lauder's counters and Sephora or something like that. So the full size of this product, that is 30 ml of this, retails for rupees 3,300. So in the full size of this you get almost 52 shades. There are like a lot of shades, quite a lot of shades sold out as well, so you get almost 52 shades in the full size of this. But in the travel size of this you get just 5 shades, and that's the reason I picked up the shade Cashew, even though it's not my exact shade match. But it almost, like right now I can see that after it kind of blends in with my skin, oxidizes a little bit, it blends in with my skin tone, it kind of looks pretty okay. So in the mini variant there are just, I think, 1 or 2 deeper shades and few lighter shades, so you will not be able to get your exact match, but you might find something a little close. So this is, I think, a good way to go ahead and invest in a product. Try it out first, see how it works out for you, and then go ahead and buy it, rather than, you know, buying the full size of it and not liking it and then wasting the product. So that's the reason I went ahead and got this one. I just wanted to see how it works out. So now coming to the shade itself, it is pretty it has a lot of orange tone to it. It's not something that looks too obvious on the skin. It's not something that is very stark and looks a lot orange, but when you first watch it on your skin or apply it, it does have a lot of like brown orange to it, and it is very, very prominent. So now coming to the packaging of this product, this is what it looks like. This is how much you get, like if you can see the size comparison, as opposed to like a full size of a foundation. Like this is how a full size foundation would look like. Usually the size of the product doesn't determine how much quantity is going to be there, but I'm just giving you guys like a heads up like how much you get. So you get 15 ml in this, which is not really bad, because I have a full size of Lakme foundation itself that has only 15 ml of product in it. So usually you get like a 30 ml product. So this mini size has exactly half the quantity of the full size product, and I think even the price is distributed kind of well. Usually the mini sizes, the travel sizes, are not very cost effective. You don't get the cost per quantity in those products, but this one I think it is pretty decent. There's only one complaint that I have, is that it doesn't have a pump. So because you get only so much product, you tend to spill a lot more than you would require. Again, you waste a lot of product. So that's one thing that I've noticed. And now I'll take you guys to the consistency and the application process and stuff like that. I've not done like a talk through demo, because those things I kind of miss out a lot of points that I want to mention. So I always film the demo and then sit down and talk to you guys about it, so that I remember everything and I kind of note down mentally what I want to talk about. So the consistency of this product is pretty runny. So you would assume that it's going to be very easy to like blend, very easy. You can just let it be and then you can take your time and blend it. It's not the case with this. It's very, very pigmented product, but it dries down very, very fast. So you have to work pretty fast. If you're going to let it rest on your face, you'll have marks on your face like a stain. It just stains that place and it won't move. So I would recommend work pretty fast with this. So work in sections. And as you guys can see, I'm going to insert a demo like of me applying this, and as you guys can see on one side of my face, that is the right side of my face, I've applied it with a sponge. So this sponge soaks up a lot more product, so that could probably be the reason why I had to take a lot of product. Like I had to spill a lot and apply it like multiple times to get the coverage, but the finish you get is sort of like a medium coverage. It does have a little bit of a glow to it. It just shears down the product just a teeny tiny bit, and that is the finish you get. And then on the left side of my face, I used a buffing brush. This is the PAC 231 buffing brush, which I applied it with, and then I buffed it into my skin. I would say ideally, because this foundation is meant to be a full coverage foundation, and if you want to get the maximum coverage out of this product, I would recommend using it with a brush. That way you can work a lot faster as well, blend it out really fast and get the coverage that you want. So if you're going to be buying this product, it should be for the coverage. You're not going to look for a natural looking foundation. If that is the case, you can try out a lot of other foundations in the market which has a natural looking finish and which is going to be a lot more affordable. If you're wondering which beauty blender that is the Estee Lauder sponge that I got when I ordered this product. So I got this one for free when I ordered this mini size of this, and this is a really good sponge. It's very soft and very squishy. I'm very surprised that they gave this one for free, because usually they'd give something that is not very good or not selling well, but this one is a really nice product, and I really like this one a lot. But this one absorbs a lot more product than I expect. So if you're going to ask me about the prep, like how I prep my skin to apply this foundation, so that demo was filmed on another day where I just applied just a moisturizer and I went ahead with this foundation, and I noticed that it was just clinging onto my skin in all the weird places. It was kind of really hard to blend, especially with the brush. I was noticing that it was skipping. The brush was just like moving in a very rigid manner. It was not blending out. It was clinging onto my skin, any little texture that I had, and it was just not a very easy blending process. And any product applied on top of it, like I usually use a lipstick as a blush, and in that demo I've used my Maybelline Touch of Spice as a blush, and it was not blending out at all, even though this is a cream product and this blends with almost all the foundation really well, and it was not blending at all. So I was wondering, what is the problem with this? It was like a really rough surface to get that even blend, and then I had applied a patch on my neck, and I just took some time and I forgot about that. There was just a big stain of like a round patch of that foundation, and it was not blending out at all. That was when I noticed that you have to go really fast with this. You have to blend it out really well, and you have to be quick. So I would recommend working in portions, especially with this foundation. So first finish one side of your face, blend it all out, and then go ahead and apply it on the other side of the face and then blend it out. Don't apply it all over your face and then go ahead with the blending, because then it's going to be a big stain and it's going to be a big ruckus. So today what I did is I prepped my skin really well. I applied the YBP Plant Remedy. I applied my moisturizer, which is the mango seed volume butter, which is really very hydrating and moisturizing, and I went ahead with a fixing spray on my face. So I applied all these products and then prepped my skin with this one. I just let it sink into my skin, and then I went ahead and mixed this YBP color cream with this foundation, and then I applied it, and this is what it looks like. I didn't film that filming process because there was no charge on my camera, so I just got ready in a hurry. I was not able to film it, but this is what my skin looks like. It's looking so radiant, so natural, and so beautiful. So that is the thing about this foundation. You have to prep it the right way and use it the right way. Once you do that, it looks almost flawless. It sits so well on my skin. It's not exaggerating anything, it's not emphasizing anything, and it has very good coverage. I wouldn't say that even with the brush I get the coverage that I get with my Huda Beauty foundation. That is like the most full coverage foundation that I own. It can cover anything. So how I notice that if a product is having good coverage or not is especially like around my mouth. If it's able to mask a pigmentation, then it's got that full coverage. So that Huda Beauty foundation, I use it as a concealer almost all the time, every single day. It'll mask up the pigmentation around my mouth, around my eyes, and the spot that I have here. But this foundation was not able to do it to that extent, but still it's very full coverage, but it has a very beautiful finish. No matter how I prep my skin with the Huda Beauty foundation, even if I do all this, I don't get this sort of like a flawless, almost skin-like finish, but with a little bit of radiance and something that looks like you don't have too much on your product on. I don't get that finish with Huda Beauty. It can be a little too matte and sometimes cling onto my skin in a weird way. This doesn't do that at all. So the key is you prep your skin well, even if you have normal skin, even if you have dry skin or whatever. And then the products on top of it, again I used my same lipstick which I use all the time. So there was no problem at all. It was not clinging on to anything. It was not sitting really weird on my skin. One thing I would suggest is use a color corrector if you have any pigmentation or anything of the sort, especially if your foundation is not of your exact right shade. I used an orange color corrector, corrected it around my mouth and underneath my eyes, and then used this. And of course I went over it with a concealer. And I must say that this is one of the most flawless looking foundations that I own. So initially I was not super impressed with this foundation, but as I made it work for me, I'm kind of super impressed, and I think I'll really be using this foundation for like special occasions and when I want to photograph myself, but without flash photography. most of the foundations do not capture really well in white light. It's not like this particular foundation looks really nice or that one does. Even if the foundation is not your exact shade and it doesn't match your skin tone to the dot, there will be this kind of weird white cast on your photo. It's not going to look like natural, especially with those white lights on. Anything looks nice in yellow lights, anything looks nice in natural light, but with flash photography or with white lights on your face, it's not going to look really perfect. This one would have flashback as well because it has that SPF in it, but I still would probably use it all the time because of the finish that it has, and it looks like skin but it's giving me the coverage that I want but not caking out. So now, would I recommend this to people with dry skin? I doubt it. If you have really dry skin and you have those dry patches that peek through and you have a little bit of a rigid skin, I wouldn't recommend this foundation. Even after all the prep, this might like cling on to some dry patches and you might feel like it's a little too heavy on your skin. But if you are someone with normal skin and oily skin, you should definitely try this one out, especially if you are oily skin or if you live in very hot, humid climates. I think you would love this foundation. Like, it has the best staying power I've seen. It's really like very long lasting, and even if you're sweating, running around or whatever, it stays in place. So that is why it's called stay in place makeup. It stays in place. It doesn't budge that easily. It doesn't let the oil seep through that fast. So I think this is like a very big blessing for people with oily skin, and of course normal skin people can pull it off with the right kind of skin prep for this. And this lasted on my skin almost the entire day. I'll try inserting how it looks by the end of the day if time permits, and you can see how it looks on my skin. I'm really impressed. So it does oxidize a teeny tiny bit from the time you first apply it, so keep that in mind. Don't be like super disappointed. That happens with most foundations, and sometimes some foundations that are not meant to oxidize or dry down would still do that to your skin. Don't be very disappointed. That happens with most foundations. It happens to best of us. So yeah, would I recommend this foundation? I'll highly recommend this, and I would recommend trying out the travel size first. See how you like it and then go ahead and buy it. This shade Cashew would probably match someone of like NC40, but it would be a more accurate match for people of a slightly lighter skin tone than I am. I think people of NC40 skin can try the shade Shell Beige. I'm not very sure if it's going to match you perfectly. I've seen some other YouTuber of a similar skin tone like mine try that one out, and she said that was her perfect shade. But I think you can still pull off the shade Cashew. Like, if you're a little bit lighter or my skin tone, you can still pull off the shade Cashew. It's a really good match. And for shade reference, I used to be an NC42 in MAC, but that was a lot more orange on my skin. So then I tried out NC40, which turned out to be a little bit light. So I'm guessing I'm in between two. And in Maybelline Fit Me, I'm in the shade 310, which is a little bit too peachy for my skin. And in Milani, I'm in the shade 06. Huda Beauty, I use the shade 340G Baklava. And these are all the shades that I can give you for shade reference if you're just wondering which one you should try. And in this LA Girl Pro Coverage Illuminate, I'm in the shade Warm Page. This is a little too dark for me, so I use this as a mixing foundation. So yeah, you kind of guess like around which shade that I would be. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Do let me know if there's anything else that you want me to review, if there's anything else you want me to talk about, some really hyped products. I'll definitely go ahead and try that one out. If you want the MAC Studio Fix foundation review, do let me know. I'll buy that one and review it for you guys. I've got multiple requests in the past. I'm not sure if people still want to see it, so do let me know. So yeah, don't forget to like this video and also subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye. Sleigh bells ringing, diamonds blinging.